The river's song in the heart of the countryside, where rolling hills met ancient forests, there flowed a river that was the lifeblood of the village of Eldenbrook. This river, known as the Aeloria, wound its way through the landscape, its waters clear and sparkling under the sun. The villagers depended on the Aeloria for their livelihood, drawing water for their crops, fishing in its depths, and finding solace in its gentle murmur. Among the villagers was a young woman named Elara. Elara had always felt a deep connection to the Aeloria, spending countless hours by its banks, listening to its soothing song. She lived in a small cottage at the edge of the village, where the river's waters were calm and shallow, perfect for wading and daydreaming. Elara was known for her gentle spirit and her love for nature. She often wandered the forests and meadows, gathering herbs and wildflowers, her mind filled with the stories her grandmother had told her about the river's magic. According to the old tales, the Aeloria had a spirit of its own, a guardian who watched over the village and blessed those who respected the land. One warm summer morning, Elara woke to find the village in turmoil. The river's waters had begun to recede, and the once vibrant flow had slowed to a trickle. The villagers were worried, for without the river, their crops would wither, and their lives would be thrown into disarray. Elara felt a deep sense of urgency. She knew she had to do something to help. Remembering her grandmother's stories, she decided to seek out the spirit of the river. With a heart full of determination, she set off upstream, following the river's course into the dense forest. As she walked, the trees closed in around her, their leaves whispering secrets in the breeze. The path grew narrower, the underbrush thicker, but Elara pressed on, guided by an unseen force. She could feel the river's energy, faint but persistent, leading her towards its source. After hours of walking, Elara came to a clearing where the river began. A small spring bubbled up from the ground, feeding the Aeloria's waters. But what caught her attention was the figure standing by the spring, a tall, graceful woman with hair like flowing water and eyes that shone with an inner light. "You must be the spirit of the Aeloria," Elara said, her voice trembling with awe. The spirit nodded, her gaze both kind and sorrowful. "I am Aeloria, guardian of this river. I sense your love for the land and your concern for your people. The river's flow has been hindered by a disturbance deep within the forest. An ancient barrier, long dormant, has been awakened, blocking the river's source." Elara's heart ached for her village. "What can I do to help? How can we restore the river?" Aeloria smiled gently. "You have a pure heart, Elara. To restore the river, you must find the barrier and remove it. It will not be easy, for the forest guards its secrets well. But I believe in your strength and your love for the land." With the spirit's blessing, Elara continued her journey, delving deeper into the forest. The air grew cooler, and the light dimmer as the trees grew taller and more ancient. She followed the faint whispers of the river, guiding her steps through the dense undergrowth. At last, she came to a place where the river's flow was completely obstructed. A wall of ancient stones, covered in moss and vines, blocked the water's path. Elara could feel the barrier's powerful energy, a force that had been placed there long ago to protect something hidden. Gathering her courage, Elara approached the barrier. She placed her hands on the cold stones, feeling the vibrations of the river's struggle. Closing her eyes, she whispered a prayer to the spirit of the river, calling upon the ancient magic that flowed through her veins. To her amazement, the stones began to shift and move, responding to her touch. Slowly, the barrier crumbled, and the river's waters surged forward, breaking free from their confinement. The force of the water knocked Elara off her feet, but she felt a surge of triumph and relief. As the river resumed its course, flowing strong and free once more, the spirit of Aeloria appeared beside her. "You have done well, Elara. The river is restored, and the village will thrive once again." Elara smiled, her heart full of gratitude. "Thank you, Aeloria. I could not have done it without your guidance." The spirit placed a hand on Elara's shoulder. "You have a special connection to the river and the land. Never forget the power of love and respect for nature. The Aeloria will always be a part of you, and you a part of it." With those words, the spirit faded into the shimmering waters, leaving Elara alone by the river's edge. She took a deep breath, feeling the energy of the restored river flowing through her. With a sense of fulfillment and peace, she made her way back to the village. When she returned, the villagers were overjoyed to see the river flowing once more. They celebrated Elara's bravery and the return of the life-giving waters. Elara became known as the guardian of the Aeloria, her bond with the river a testament to the enduring power of nature and the human spirit. Years passed, and the village of Eldenbrook flourished. The river continued to flow, its song a constant reminder of the magic that lay within the land and the heart of a young woman who had answered its call. Elara's legacy lived on, inspiring generations to come to honor and protect the natural world, and to listen to the whispers of the river.